The streets of Manila never slept. Vendors called out under flickering lights, jeepneys hiked, and the smell of roasted corn filled the humid air. But in one forgotten corner of the city, beneath an old overpass, a boy's voice trembled through the night. His name was Noel, 16 years old, barefoot, clutching a battered, string-missing guitar that looked older than him. His voice, it wasn't polished, it wasn't trained, but it had something rare, truth. Every evening after scavenging bottles with his younger sister Laya, Noel would sit near the closed gates of the Grand Manila Hotel, singing for coins. The guests in suits and dresses rarely looked at him. Some passed by pretending not to hear, others threw a few pesos without stopping. But Noel didn't sing for money, he sang because it was the only thing that made him feel alive. One night, as the sky began to drizzle, Noel's hoarse voice filled the air with the song he barely understood, but had always loved. On the dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, he closed his eyes and let his soul bleed through every word of Hotel California. He didn't see the tall man who had just stepped out of a black car parked near the entrance of the hotel. The man stood under an umbrella, watching silently. His name was Mr. Sebastian Cruz, a world-renowned music producer who had just returned to the Philippines after years abroad. The boy's cracked voice echoed off the concrete walls, imperfect, but haunting. Sebastian couldn't move. It wasn't the technical skill that froze him, it was the emotion. The kind of voice that carried hunger, pain, hope, and love all at once. When Noel finished, a small crowd had gathered, clapping softly. He smiled shyly, bowing, before picking up the few coins that had rolled onto the wet pavement. Sebastian stepped forward. "Hey, kid," he said. "That was incredible." Noel looked up, unsure if it was sarcasm. "Thank you, sir," he muttered, hugging his guitar protectively. "Where did you learn to sing like that?" Noel shrugged. "I didn't. I just feel the sighing." Sebastian crouched down, curiosity in his eyes. "Would you sing it again?" "I want to record it." Noel blinked. "Record? Like on your phone?" The producer chuckled softly. "No, kid. Professionally. In my studio." Noel's eyes widened. "Sir, I don't even have shoes. I can't go to a studio." "You can if I take you." The next morning, Noel sat in Sebastian's black SUV, holding Laya's hand tightly. The two siblings had never been inside a car before. Laya stared out the window, mesmerized by the passing skyline. At the studio, Sebastian gave Noel a clean shirt, new strings for his guitar, and a warm meal. Tears filled Noel's eyes at the first bite of rice and fried chicken. "You okay?" Sebastian asked gently. Noel nodded. "I just forgot what a full meal feels like." Then they began recording. Noel stood before the mic, nervous, hands shaking. But as the first chords played, he closed his eyes and the world melted away. "Welcome to the Hotel California." This time, his voice carried everything. The loneliness of losing his parents, the nights he spent singing for strangers, the love he had for his little sister who smiled through hunger. Sebastian's assistants fell silent. One by one, everyone stopped what they were doing to listen. By the end of the sighing, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Sebastian uploaded the video to YouTube that night with the simple title, "Poor Street Boy Sings Hotel California Like Never Before." He didn't expect what came next. Within 24 hours, the video had 1 million views. Comments flooded in from every corner of the world. "This boy's voice broke my heart. I felt every note. Someone find him. This is what real music sounds like." News stations picked it up. Influencers shared it. People started calling him the boy with the golden soul. When Noel returned to the overpass the next day, the same spot where he'd once sung to passing shadows, there was a crowd waiting for him. Reporters, cameras, people with flowers all cheering his name. But Noel didn't let fame sweep him away. He ran home to Laya, picked her up in his arms, and cried. "Laya, we're going to be okay now," he whispered. Sebastian helped enroll Noel and Laya in school, and soon after, they released Noel's first official single, a heart-touching version of Hotel California dedicated to all dreamers who sing through hunger. The music video showed real clips from Noel's life: the overpass, the rain, the crowds ignoring him. It went viral again. Major labels called. TV shows invited him. But Noel's only request was simple: "Can you make sure my sister never sleeps hungry again?" Months later, Noel stood on stage at an international music awards show, dressed in a simple white shirt and jeans. As the spotlight hit him, he looked into the crowd, and saw Sebastian smiling proudly, and beside him, Laya waving wildly. When the host asked, "Noel, what does music mean to you?" he smiled softly and said, "Music is the only home I had, when I had none. And now, it's the way I give back to the world."